Okay, so I went on live on Facebook on my second account, which I'm gonna figure out how to link them all out loud. But I truly don't. I feel like I just have to give my piece on this Kanye debate and interview. Kanye, yes, was sounded fucking crazy and all over the place during the TMZ interview, and I give you that. But what I don't understand is why is nobody actually hearing what this man is saying? Because I hear it, a couple of other people hear it, and everyone's just like, oh, he's saying that we chose to be slaves. No, he's not saying that we chose to be fucking slaves. He was saying that we were taught how to be it, and then after a while, we just decided that, that's probably the most comfortable way to go. I understand that. And I understand why some people are like, what the fuck are you saying, man? Like, okay. It's sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic. It's something that you can easily snap. It's a trigger for all black people. When we talk about slavery, the word nigga, white supremacy, all of it, it's triggers. I don't think anyone realizes that black people have triggers. Like, we have real triggers. The entire race has triggers. And these are some of the shits that trigger us. It doesn't even matter whose mouth that it's coming from. You won't sit there and you won't listen to it fully before you let the trigger just start blocking shit and trying to get your opinion out. That's my first statement. Second statement, before I start actually dissecting everything that Kanye was saying. Second statement, dude, again, it's an opinion. An opinion that doesn't change shit about your life. It's in social media. And because it's constantly popping up on your fucking timeline, everybody wants to pay attention to it. Everybody wants to have their own 2 cents and everybody wants to be heard. Key example right now. Like, it's like you guys are literally letting it run your lives when this is the point the man is saying. Social media runs your lives. Let worrying about your life run your life, not people's opinions on it or what people are saying or doing at the moment. It's stupid. It's you choosing to follow everybody else. That is a choice. You can see this statement, you can listen to it, you can feel however you want to feel, and you can keep scrolling. You can block me. You have ways of just not seeing someone have a different opinion. It's not that hard. And then now, I want to just go ahead and dissect the shit. Where in the very beginning, he was like, people were taught how to think and feel. And he damn sure was right. We were. Okay, first of all, we were frightened, Stockholm Syndrome the fuck out, of how we or black people naturally lived their lives before any other race. Because it's not only white, any other race decided to interfere with how the fuck they were living. Christianity wasn't always what you believed in or your religion. Do any of you actually sit back and think about that? Like, was my ancestors Christians? Did they believe in Jesus Christ and all this? What did they do? Did anybody actually sit back and research what people were doing in Africa before the slavery thing happened? And I promise you, it'll sound like the most savagest shit you've ever heard. It sounds completely redundant and absurd. And it sounds like we were being a bunch of fucking animals, right? Right. Okay. So isn't that what white people saw us as when they came in there? Right? Right. So doesn't that mean we were taught to see how we saw ourselves back then is down here? So we were taught how to think and we were taught how to feel about something. Now when we see how we used to act back in the day, we feel that it was just monstrous and nasty or something like that. And that's because that's how white people saw it back in the day. Boom. There you go. There's your number one statement that man started off with. And you guys are just like, no one tells me how to think and feel. Yes, that's today. That's today no one tells you how to think and feel. But do you really think you know what you're thinking or feeling? Because you've been taught this your entire life and the generation before you and the generation before that. People are saying, wake up and think for yourselves. Because the shit that we have been doing for the past 400 and something years is just routine. We have gotten used to the routine we got used to the routine of thinking that white people were better than us. So white supremacy is really fucking redundant. We were taught our entire lifetimes of being in this fucking country that white people were more superior than us. So white supremacy and white supremacists are just people who don't want to get with the fucking change, who don't want to acknowledge that the world is important, not just white people. Because they come from a world where white supremacy was the world. And everybody was with it. Why? Because that's how the country started. That's exactly how it started. Like, did anybody think to look back and, yeah, I understand how we're all sitting here like, slavery wasn't a choice. It damn sure wasn't a choice. But after a while, was it not either the smarter choice to go with? Or just the only choice to go with? Because you can sit back. Lupe said it best. Lupe said it best in a video that he was talking about. You were left. Yes, it was a choice, but you only had two choices. Be a slave or die. Now, which choice would you pick in that one? Am I about to die or am I about to be a slave so I can live? Some people chose to fucking die. I'd rather die instead of be a fucking slave. I'm sure some of my ancestors were those people. I'd rather die than do this shit. Have a good day. But no, some people actually decided to be a slave because they thought they had this shit. They thought they were going to be cool. They thought they were going to be okay. They thought, I have to live for my children. I can't let my child see me like this. I can't let my wife see me like this. Or however their cultural relations went, because we still don't fucking know, even though it's our ancestry. Like, people. Okay, yeah, it was a choice when you think about that. But it was the only choice we had back then. And you can hate that opinion as much as you want. But now that we don't have those choices, now that we have the choice to do other shit, we have the choice to think outside the box now. We have the choice to go shoot for that job that we, back in the day, were actually not lawful to even try to fucking apply for. We can now do that thing where we can move out the hood. We can actually imagine moving out the hood. But nah, some of y'all are really stuck in this mentality. Oh, I'm black. I'm gonna have to live in Southside forever because I can't afford to live in Northwest. What type of bullshit are y'all on? Like, this bullshit. Hey, look! Another person who thinks you're full of bullshit.
What?
This whole Kanye sticky thingy.
I'm not even about to comment a lot on it. I'm gonna just say this, that slavery was a choice. Not the way that you think it was a choice. You had a choice, you had an option of death or work. So, the way that you guys are taking it is wrong. The way that he said it was wrong. Okay? So don't think I'm taking his side or anything. Yes, he said something that was ridiculous and ludicrous. But if you actually take the time to research and go back in history and look at the options that they really did have, not a lot of these slaves were smart, and this didn't just start here in America. I shared a video. You have a choice of get on this boat and work, or we kill you. And this started before they got to America. This was on African soil. So it started at the shorelines, during the slave committees, So if you see your toughest man in your village stand up and die, and at that time they believed in reincarnation, meaning that once you planted yourself into the ground, you're buried in the ground, you'll be restored with your ancestors. The white people knew that, so they would do things like burn the bodies, cut the limbs off, and destroy the body so you could not be buried and be reincarnated. So if you see the toughest man from your village stand up and die, and they just destroy your customs, what other choice do you have? And then you got to think about the people, the slaves that were born into it. That's all they knew. So it's not like they knew anything of freedom beforehand. So when you say slavery was a choice, it was. It was a choice to live. That was their choice. They decided to live by by giving up their freedoms.
Like, I was watching a TMZ interview, and I caught a couple lines Kanye said that actually made a lot of fucking sense. Like, we were taught how to think and feel from a long time ago. Yeah, we were taught how to think and feel. Then like they say feel free, but they don't want us to feel free. They don't even want us to be physically free. Like, how the fuck are we supposed to feel free if we can't even be free? Like, that's like saying feel happy while being tortured to death. And then you won't notice the being tortured to death. Okay, he actually lost me when he was excited about the fact that the Crips said they were going to beat the shit out of him. You lost me. I really think he's trolling that, but you lost me.
That was Daz Dillinger. He's a producer. And yes, he is a real Crip.
I really think he lost me right there, because he was like, oh my god, they're going to beat some sense into me? Yeah, man, those are my brothers. That'd be awesome. And it's like...
Yeah, he was trolling them.
Alright, Kanye. You lost me right there.
He was trolling Daz.
Oh, I really think you were. Then, like, he did say one thing that I've been saying for the fucking longest. That this isn't even only between white and black people. This is just human beings. Period. You can do this to any human being. It don't matter. You can put
the only set of slaves.
One of each fucking version of a slave that has been through slavery. You could put an Egyptian. You could put, well, they're still African. You could put an Egyptian. You could put an African. You could put an Asian. You could put a Hawaiian person even. I'm sure they got some slavery somewhere in there. Okay?
But, no.
Okay, well, I'm sure they went through some type of suffrage.
In the islands, in Haiti,
Haiti,
in Brazil. No, the slave trade was not just here in America, people.
Papua New Guinea.
You know, this act of slavery or enslaving people has been going on for millennia.
Jews, and they're white.
So
they ain't have a break from white people. They got tortured by Germans. Germans and Jews aren't two different white. I mean, well, they are. They're two different white people, but they're still white.
And if it's all based off color, they're the same, right?
It was white on white violence. Oh my God!
If people want to base their knowledge and their information off color, then they're screwed, because there have been plenty of situations where people of different ethnicities, because you come from a different country, which you share the same skin complexion, have fought each other. Don't let me go into it, but Irish. Come on now, the Irish have had so much bullshit.
I'm not getting into it.
I'm not getting into it either.
Don't touch it. Don't touch that.
But
UK, period. The whole UK.
Exactly.
We not touching that.
You can see how people of the same skin complexion can be at war, saying, "Oh, you're different than I am."
Like if you go to the museum down on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington D.C. to this day, the piece of Berlin Wall is right there. And was Berlin not in a whole goddamn war for what, 10 years or more?
I fucking forgot. I don't remember shit. I gotta go back to the story.
And it's like, you had North Berlin, you had East Berlin versus West Berlin. But they're all Berlin!
Yourself.
It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. So I understand
what it means. It's just like America. A country fighting itself. We're fighting our own people instead of joining forces to make sure that no one can come against us.
Because we're still on this whole white and black. Go back where you came from. Bitch, you brought us here. You don't belong here either.
But you love movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, which puts multiple different races of aliens and humans together. So how can we not think that same way positively about the people on Earth, but we can enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy?
Like this dog. You'll say she's just an animal and a stupid mutt. But no.
And I will kick your ass.
We will fucking kick your ass. She is a living being too. She has feelings. She has thoughts. She lives. She's a mammal, so that technically means she's related to human beings. Just because she's a canine don't mean she can't be loved just like a human. Ain't that right, girl? Yes, it is. See how happy she is. Oh. Okay. Ow. I love you too. But alright, I love you too. I love you too. So there's another statement. Like, you got some people were definitely they stuck with slavery because they were intimidated to stick with slavery. And especially if you were born into it. Because we're not going to sit here and act like none of these slave women that got snatched, just snatched. I'm not even, we gonna say caveman snatched. Like, oh, you a beautiful curvy black woman, snatch. Like, we're not going to say they didn't get raped and they weren't forced into it and they weren't intimidated to it. So then now you have mulatto fucking children that were born into this shit. This is all they know now. Just like he said, this is all they know now. We were intimidated to be slaves when we got to that generation. It was forced to be. Then intimidated to be. Then it just became fucking routine, man. Just to do this to get by and survive. Especially my granddaddy went through this. My daddy going through this right now. So why not me too? What makes me different? This is routine at that point. We are now just getting to the generation where we are opening our minds and we're like, we don't have to take your shit because of what we used to do. We don't have to take your shit because of the past. We don't have to take your shit at all. We're just getting to that. We've only been 50 years out of the whole segregation issue, but we still have racism to this day. So if you think it's going to be over in the snap of a finger, it's not. And if you think ragging on Kanye right now and his opinion is helping, or you're trying to be woke and have your 2 cents in, y'all sleep as fuck. Sleep as fuck. Because his main point is no one else's opinion should care. He did this shit as a troll reaction. He says he didn't want a reaction, but I agree with the TMZ dude. You got a reaction. You wanted a reaction, and this is the exact reaction Kanye wanted. Everybody spazzing the fuck off because of an opinion that was on social media. What the fuck did y'all do? You gave it to him. Everybody on social media to this day. If it's not about Infinity War, spoiling Infinity War, it's about Kanye West. And he also brought it up that back in the day, when we were in the same exact situation, there was a terrible event that happened to colored people or people, period. We had a shitty president who didn't know how to handle the situation from the get-go. Well, I'll give Bush some credit. At least your family had some fucking political history, alright? But we're now in a shitty presidency, and Kanye gets on the TV and says some retarded shit. It wasn't, well, yeah, some of that shit was retarded from the TMZ part. But when he was standing on TV with, I think his name is Mike. I believe his name is Mike. We all know the guy who played Fat Bastard and Austin Powers. And the Cat in the Hat. I think his name is Mike. I can't remember his last name. That's why I can't get his name out. But Austin Powers, for fuck's sake. When he was on TV with Austin Powers. I'm sorry, man. I really am. I'm chopping it up. I know that's disrespectful as fuck. I just can't think of your name on top of my thought. I'm a stoner. I don't smoke enough. Sorry. But he said Bush doesn't care about black people. Just like that. Unapologetic. Didn't give a shit. That was him. But then he got on and he apologized just because, I think he apologized. I don't know. I stopped following it after that because I actually agreed at that point. Bush didn't give a shit about black people. Hurricane Katrina happened and what we doing on vacation. Like, alright, I can understand how you assume that he didn't give a shit about black people. Now he's just sitting back with the Obama's like, ha, 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 and everybody thought I was shit. Like, that's what's going on right now. But back to the point, we were intimidated, and then it was a routine, and now we're just getting out of just going with it, and we're trying to make these people who don't want to get out the life of white supremacy go with it, but they're not going to because this is their life. I say let the white supremacists have their opinions. Let the white supremacists try to change the fucking Constitution, and the Capitol has to agree with it. And if you motherfuckers were more dedicated into registering to vote and actually be dedicated in your neighborhoods with your mayors and shit all over the fucking country, maybe the Capitol wouldn't be filled with such shitty privileged people. How the fuck is a rich motherfucker who makes a 7-8 figure check know how to fucking judge a poverty civilization, a poverty community? No fucking way. You people want people to understand, and you want people to make laws and bills and rules for this country that actually benefit the people. You have to put your fucking put in too. Or did we forget that's what the fuck the founding fathers did in the first place? Alright? They made it equal for the people. And then yet, we're letting the democracy run like a monarchy all over a fucking again. Just let the Capitol and the president do whatever they want. They make the rules. And because we're such little people, and because we're black, and because we're not rich, we're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be able to change their mind. And that's that intimidated fucking thinking right there. That's that this is fucking routine right there. Because you didn't want to think higher than that. You didn't want to get out of that. And that is exactly what the fuck Kanye is telling you people. That where the fuck we are at this point in time and where we go from here, it's all going to be a fucking choice. All of it's going to be a choice. And if you really want to get out of this, you gotta try harder. You have to stop trying to be with the trend of being woke and actually wake the fuck up. Half of you really out here screaming, oh, I'm woke, because it's the trend. Like when half of you were becoming bisexual and gay because it was the trend. When majority of the people now who are such Marvel and DC nerds, the same motherfuckers who picked on us in elementary school about that shit, are now nerds too because it was cool. Everybody wants to be in African garments and wear something that looks like Wakanda because Black Panther came out. Everybody's dick riding social media. And you're sitting here claiming that you're woke and you're still dick riding social media. God, like, really wake up. Because that's not being woke. That's just following everybody else's opinion, which is exactly what Kanye was trying to say. Stop doing what you think people feel is a good thing about or a good thing to do. Because that has nothing to fucking do with you. You think about your life. You control it. So why does anyone else's opinion or anyone else's feelings matter to it? So, yeah, okay, he was wearing the Make America Great Again hat. He said he wasn't wearing it to support Trump. He might love him, but it wasn't to support Trump. It was just to be an artist. I can wear this hat because I can fucking wear this hat. Doesn't technically mean I'm supporting Trump. I just wanted to wear the fucking hat. People don't wear the hat because it's affiliated to Trump, and they're intimidated that if they wear the hat, they're going to be affiliated with Trump too. Okay, yeah, because you're wearing the hat, someone's going to immediately think you're a Trump supporter. But that's the point. Because of the social media, because Trump wore the hat, because it was part of Trump's campaign, if you wear it, no matter your circumstance, you could just be in the rain, and that's all the fuck that was there. It was the only hat. Are you going to go as far as to take a Sharpie and scratch out the Make America Great Again just to put the hat on? No. You're going to wear the fucking hat so your hair don't get wet. What else did this man say? Basically, don't enslave yourself because you got beat into it. Then... like, him doing the crazy shit that he did in the past, he did a lot of shit, and no one realizes that a lot of celebrities do a lot of shit just for their fans. We are their main income, if anyone notices that. Us little people are big to fucking celebrities, because if we don't endorse in them, if we don't buy their CDs, if we don't actually give a shit about the shit that they do, they're nothing. If we actually feed into their songs and their CDs and their art, then they become celebrities. That's how the fucking Cash Me Outside girl No.
Or you bougie.
I'm not bougie.
You bougie.
But that's how the fuck the Cash Me Outside girl got famous. Oh, she was such a rude white girl, but she's doing shit that a black girl would do, and everyone's endorsing in it. No. Everybody wasn't endorsing in that shit. Everybody was actually giving it attention, and that's what the fuck made her famous, because we all gave her fucking attention. Do you not see what we're talking about here? That's the fuck we're talking about here. If you don't give anything that time of day, it can't become that. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense. Like, we were taught that white supremacy is cool because that's all the fuck we know. That whites were superior to us. I don't even want to talk about this anymore.